They say hindsight's 2020. I should have noticed when my 8-year-old asked at breakfast, "Daddy, should I tell you about last night?" The way my wife's face went white, the panic in her eyes. But I trusted her. 15 years of marriage, and I thought I knew her. I was wrong. Dead wrong. My name's Arthur Pendleton. I'm 62 years old. Been managing the Riverside manufacturing plant for 18 years. Honest work, demanding work. I married Eliza 15 years ago when I was 47 and she was 32. People talked about the age difference, but we didn't care. We had Leo 8 years ago, and that boy became my whole world. That Tuesday morning started normal. I was up at 5:30, coffee brewing while I checked emails, production numbers, maintenance issues in Bay 3, the usual. Eliza came down around 6:45 dressed for yoga. She taught 3 mornings a week at the community center. Or so she said. I made scrambled eggs while Leo sat at the kitchen table with his Legos. Morning light came through the window I'd replaced last spring. Eliza poured coffee, scrolled her phone, didn't look at me. "Regional manager coming today," I said, sliding eggs on a plates. "Probably won't be home until 7. She replied, eyes still on her screen. Leo pushed his Legos aside when I set his plate down. Good kid. Always said his thank yous. He started eating, then stopped, fork halfway to his mouth. He looked at his mother with those big brown eyes. "Mommy," he said, voice small and uncertain. "Should I tell Daddy about last night?" The kitchen went silent. I stood at the stove, spatula in hand, watching my wife's face cycle through expressions. Fear, anger, calculation. She forced out a laugh that sounded brittle. "Leo, sweetie, we talked about this," she said, voice tight. "Remember that was just a game. But you said," Leo, her tone sharpened, "eat your breakfast." I set the spatula down carefully. "What happened last night?" "Nothing happened," Eliza said quickly. Too quickly. "He's talking about a cartoon. Right, Leo?" Our son looked between us, confusion and fear on his face. He was 8 years old. He shouldn't feel either of those things at breakfast. "Leo," I said gently, "what did you want to tell me, buddy?" "Don't interrogate him, Arthur." Eliza stood up, chair scraping tile. "He's a child. He doesn't know what he's saying. I'm not interrogating anyone. I'm asking our son a question. There's nothing to ask about." Her voice rose. "You're always doing this. Always looking for problems. Always suspicious. Always." "I'm suspicious." The words came out hard. "Our son asks if you should tell me about last night, and you shut him down. You don't think that's worth talking about?" She grabbed her yoga mat, her purse. "I'm not doing this right now. I have a class to teach, Eliza." The front door slammed through the window. I watched her back out too fast, tires squealing. Leo was crying quietly. I sat beside him, pulled him close. "Hey, it's okay, buddy. You're not in trouble. Mommy's mad at me," he whispered. "No, she's not mad at you." I held my son while his eggs got cold and try not to think about the look on Eliza's face. Try not to think about how she'd left without kissing either of us goodbye. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. Not for the rest of that very long day. I couldn't focus at work that day. The regional manager walked through Bay 3 asking questions about efficiency metrics, and I gave him answers on autopilot. My mind was back in that kitchen watching Leo's frightened face, hearing Eliza's 2 quick denials. During lunch break, I sat in my office and called her straight to voicemail. I tried again an hour later. Same thing. By 3 o'clock, I was dialing every 15 minutes. Nothing. She finally answered at 4:30. "What, Arthur?" Her voice was clipped, annoyed. "We need to talk about this morning." "There's nothing to talk about. I already told you." I leaned back in my chair, rubbed my eyes. "Eliza, our son was scared. You left without explaining anything. You can't just pretend." "I'm not pretending anything." She interrupted. "You're the one making a mountain out of nothing. Leo had a bad dream." I comforted him. End of story. Then why did he ask if you should tell me? Silence on the line. Then I don't know, Arthur. Maybe because you're always so intense about everything. Maybe you thought you'd overreact, which by the way you are? The words stung more than they should have. I'm trying to understand what's happening in my own house. Nothing is happening. God, you're exhausting sometimes. I heard traffic noise in the background. Look, I'm at the store. Can we talk about this later? What store? I thought you had yoga this morning, and then you'd be home. Another pause. Longer this time. I had some errands to run. Is that okay with you? Or do I need permission to leave the house now? That's not what I'm saying. I have to go. I'll be home by 6 o'clock. She hung up before I could respond. I sat there staring at my phone. Something was off. The defensiveness, the quick anger, the way she turned it all around on me, making me feel like I was crazy for asking basic questions. My first wife, Clara, died in a car accident 12 years ago. T-boned an intersection by a drunk driver, running a red light. I've been working late that night. Told her I'd pick up dinner on my way home. If I left on time, if I've been driving instead of her, maybe she'd still be alive. I carry that guilt for years. Eliza knew that. Knew how I blamed myself for not being there. Was she using that against me now? Making me doubt my own instincts. I left work at 5, drove home with my knuckles white on the steering wheel. Eliza's car was in the driveway when I pulled up through the kitchen window. I could see her moving around, making dinner like nothing had happened. Leo was in the living room building a Lego castle. I sat down beside him. "Hey buddy, how was school?" "Good," he said quietly, not looking up from his blocks. "Want to tell me about it?" He shrugged. "We learned about fractions." I waited, giving him space. Finally, he looked at me. "Dad, am I in trouble for what I said at breakfast?" My heart broke a little. "No, son. You're never in trouble for telling the truth. Mommy said I shouldn't talk about last night anymore. She said it would upset you." Before I could respond, Eliza appeared in the doorway. "Dinner's ready," she announced, her smile bright and false. "Come on, you two. I made your favorite, Arthur. Hot pot roast." She walked away, leaving me sitting there with our son and 1,000 unasked questions. Something was definitely wrong, and I was going to find out what. That night, I couldn't sleep. Eliza was beside me, breathing deep and steady while I stared at the ceiling, counting the hours. Around 2 a.m., I got up for water, passed through the kitchen, and saw her purse on the counter. She never left her purse out. Never. I stood there in the dark, knowing I shouldn't look, but unable to stop myself. My hand reached out, pulled it open. Wallet, keys, lipstick. Then I saw it. A second phone, cheap Android with a pink case tucked in the side pocket. My hand started shaking. I pulled it out, pressed the power button. The screen lit up with notifications, text messages, dozens of them, all from a contact labeled. I opened the thread. "Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Usual place. Miss you already. Last night was incredible. When are you going to tell him?" My vision blurred. I scrolled up. Weeks of messages. Months, maybe plans to meet, photos I couldn't bring myself to look at closely, references to Leo, to me, to our life together, like it was all just an obstacle to work around. I put the phone back exactly where I found it, went to the bathroom, splashed cold water on my face, looked at myself in the mirror, 62 years old, gray hair lines around my eyes. When did I become so easy to fool? The next morning, I said nothing. Watch Eliza make kiss Leo's head. Check that second phone when she thought I wasn't looking. She left for yoga at 8:30. I called in sick to work, first time in 3 years. Then I called my younger brother, Marcus. We hadn't spoken in almost 2 years, not since our mother's funeral when we argued about her estate. He'd accused me of manipulating Mom's will. Said things that cut deep, but he was a paralegal now. Worked for a divorce attorney. If anyone could help me, it was him, Arthur. He sounded surprised when he answered. "Everything okay?" "No." I said. "No, it's not. I need your help, Marcus. I think Eliza is having an affair." Silence on the line. "Then tell me everything." I did. The phone, the messages, Leo's question at breakfast, all of it. When I finished, Marcus was quiet for a long moment. "I'm coming over," he finally said. "And Arthur, I'm sorry for what I said at Mom's funeral. I was drunk and grieving, and I took it out on you. You didn't deserve that." My throat tightened. Water under the bridge. "No, it's not. But we'll fix that later. Right now, we need to protect you and Leo. Don't confront her yet. Don't let on that. You know, we need evidence, documentation, everything." "Already ahead of you," I said. "I'm taking photos of that phone tonight." "Good man. I'll be there in 2 hours." After we hung up, I went to Leo's school, pulled him out early, told the secretary it was a family matter. Ms. Davies, his teacher, caught me in the hallway. "Mr. Pendleton, is everything all right? Leo's been withdrawn lately. Has he said anything to you about home?" She hesitated. He drew a picture in our class yesterday. A house with very thick walls and a figure he labeled the secret man. I was going to call you. My stomach dropped. Can I see it? She brought it from her classroom. There was our house drawn in crayon. Leo standing outside, a shadowy figure in a window. Thank you. I managed. I'll handle this. I took Leo home, let him watch cartoons while I paced. Marcus arrived at noon, took one look at me, and pulled me into a hug. We're going to fix this, he said. I promise. Marcus spread files across my dining room table like a general planning campaign. He'd brought a forensic accountant named Eleanor Bishop with him, a sharp-eyed woman in her 60s who looked like somebody's grandmother, but talked like a prosecuting attorney. First things first, Marcus said, we document everything. That phone, bank accounts, her schedule, everything. Eleanor's going to look at your finances. What am I looking for? I asked. Eleanor pulled out a laptop. Unusual withdrawals, new accounts, credit cards you don't know about. If she's having an affair, she's spending money somewhere. I gave her access to our bank records. Within 30 minutes, her expression changed. Mr. Pendleton, do you remember taking out a home equity line of credit last March? My blood went cold. No, there's one here. $50,000. Open March 15th. She turned the screen toward me. That's your signature. I stare at the document. It looked like my signature the same way I signed my name, but March 15th. That was the day of my mother's funeral. I said slowly, I was in Ohio. Marcus, you were there. My brother leaned over, looked at the document. His face went hard. She forged it. That's fraud, Eleanor said quietly. Federal fraud because it crossed state lines. Where did the money go? She pulled up more documents. My hands curled into fist as I saw it. Joint account. Eliza Pendleton and Julian Vance. Who's Julian Vance? Marcus asked. I pulled out my phone, did a quick search. His social media popped up immediately. 36 years old, owned a CrossFit gym across town. Profile full of shirtless photos, inspirational quotes about living your best life. That's where my $50,000 went. I said, voice flat. To fund her boyfriend's failing business. Eleanor kept digging. There's more. Cash withdrawals, hotels, restaurants. They've spent $43,000 in 8 months. I stood up, walked to the window, tried to breathe. My son's college fund gone. The money I'd worked over time to build stolen. Arthur, Marcus said carefully. We've got her forged signature. Embezzlement fraud. This isn't just divorce territory. This is criminal. Good, I said, and meant it. What do we do next? We get Leo evaluated by a child psychologist. Document the emotional impact. We photograph that phone. We find out everything we can about Julian Vance. And then Marcus's expression was grim. Then we bury her in court. Eleanor is still typing. Mr. Pendleton, there's something else. She's got another account. Offshore Cayman Islands. How much? $15,000 so far. And there are airline reservations. 2 tickets to Cabo San Lucas. Departure date is 3 weeks from now. Marcus and I looked at each other. She was going to run. I said, take the money and disappear. What about Leo? Marcus asked. I don't think he was part of the plan. The room went silent. My wife had stolen from me, lied to me, and was planning to abandon our son. The woman I'd loved for 15 years, who I trusted with everything, was a stranger. Let's get to work. I said, I want everything documented. Every lie, every dollar, every message. When we're done, she won't know what hit her. I took Leo to Dr. Lena Hayes. The next afternoon, Marcus had recommended her, said she specialized in children dealing with family trauma. Her office was warm, filled with toys and books designed to put kids at ease. Mr. Pendleton, I'll speak with Leo alone first, Dr. Hayes said. Then we'll talk. I sat in the waiting room for 45 minutes watching the clock. Every minute felt like an hour. Finally, the door opened. Leo came out, went straight to the toy corner without looking at me. Dr. Hayes gestured me into her office. Your son is carrying significant anxiety, she said, closing the door. He's been placed in a position of keeping adult secrets. That's a form of emotional manipulation. Mr. Pendleton, it's damaging. She showed me drawing Leo had made houses with thick walls. A figure labeled Dad standing outside. Another labeled me inside with bars on the windows and a shadow figure he'd labeled M. Who's M? I asked, though I already knew. He wouldn't say, but he drew this. She showed me another picture. A car with a woman inside surrounded by red crayon. He said, "This is what happens when people don't listen." My blood ran cold. What does that mean? I think he's afraid of what exactly? I'm not sure. But Mr. Pendleton, this child needs stability. He needs to know at least one parent is a safe harbor. What do you recommend? Primary custody to you. Supervised visitation for the mother until she completes counseling. Leo needs protection from whatever's happening in your home. I left with a formal report in hand. Legal documentation of what Eliza had done to our son. Marcus was waiting in my truck. Saw my face. That bad. Worse. I handed him the report. She's been using him, making him keep her secrets. He's terrified. Marcus, my brother's jaw tightened. We've got her now. Between this and the financial fraud, she won't get anywhere near custody. That night, Eliza came home late. 10:30. Smelled like expensive cologne that wasn't mine. Where have you been? I asked from the couch. Book club ran long. She didn't even look at me. Just headed for the stairs. There is no book club. She froze, turned slowly. Excuse me. I checked. The community center hasn't hosted a book club in 3 months. The organizer had surgery. Her face shifted through emotions. Are you spy on me now? I'm trying to understand why my wife lies to me. I'm not doing this, Arthur. She started up the stairs. I'm tired. I know about Julian. She stopped, didn't turn around, just stood there, hand on the railing. I know about the money, the forged signature, the offshore account, all of it. When she faced me, her expression was cold, hard, nothing like the woman I'd married. So, what are you going to do about it? She asked. You're 62 years old, Arthur. Who's going to believe you over me? Who's going to take your side when I tell them how controlling you are? How you manipulated a younger woman into marriage? How you use your age and money to keep me trapped? I have proof. She laughed. Actually laughed. Proof of what? That I opened a joint account. That I have a friend. You can't prove anything. We'll see what a judge thinks. Do your worst. She came down 2 steps. Got close. But remember, I know things, too. About Clara's accident. About how you blame yourself. About your nightmares. I'll make you look unstable, Arthur. I'll make sure. Everyone knows you're a paranoid old man who couldn't satisfy his wife. She went upstairs. I heard the guest room door lock. I sat there in the dark, hands shaking with rage. But I didn't move. Didn't chase her because Marcus's words echoed in my head. Desperate people make mistakes. Let her feel confident. Let her think she was winning. The trap was already set. 3 days later, I scheduled a meeting in my house. Told Eliza, her lawyer, needed to be there. Told her it was time to discuss terms. She agreed, probably thinking she had the upper hand. Marcus came early, helped me set up. Eleanor spread her files across the dining room table. The same table where we'd eaten family dinners for 15 years, where Leo had done his homework. Where Eliza had smiled and lied to my face. Julian arrived first. Didn't want to come. You could see it in every line of his body. Kept glancing at the door like he wanted a bolt. His lawyer was young, expensive suit, slick back hair. Eliza came next with her attorney. She looked perfect. Hair and makeup done, modest dress, small cross necklace. Playing the victim before anyone even spoke. We all sat. My table, my house, my terms. Eliza's lawyer started. My client is here in good faith to discuss an amicable separation. Your client forged my signature, I said, cutting him off. Eleanor stood, laid out the first document. Home equity loan, notarized March 15th. Mr. Pendleton's signature. Another document. Mr. Pendleton's mother's death certificate. March 14th. Another plane ticket. Mr. Pendleton was in Ohio when this was supposedly signed. We have witnesses. Photos from the funeral. The lawyer's face changed. He turned to Eliza. Did you know about this? She didn't answer. Eleanor continued. Joint account. Eliza Pendleton and Julian Vance. 50,000 deposited. 43,000 withdrawn. Hotels, restaurants, cash, and this. She pulled up a photo on her laptop. A boat purchased by Julian Vance. Down payment, $30,000. Julian's lawyer had his head in his hands. There's more, Marcus said. He pulled out Dr. Hayes's report. Psychological evaluation of Leo Pendleton states the child has been emotionally manipulated, forced to keep adult secrets, shows signs of anxiety and trauma. He spread out Leo's drawings, the houses with walls, the shadow figure, the car surrounded by red. Your client has stolen from her husband and psychologically damaged her child, Marcus said. This isn't divorce court. This is criminal court territory. This is insane, Eliza said, voice rising. Arthur is twisting everything. He's controlling, manipulative. Then explain the offshore account, Eleanor interrupted. Cayman Islands $15,000 and the plane tickets to Mexico. 2 adults, no child, departure in 10 days. The room went silent. Julian stood up suddenly. I'm done. This is on you, Eliza. You said he was loaded. That we'd take him for everything. You planned all of it. Sit down. His lawyer snapped. No. She forged his signature. I saw her practicing. She had samples of his handwriting. Practiced for weeks. I told her it was wrong. But she said, shut up. Eliza screamed. Mr. Vance, Marcus said calmly. Keep talking. Julian looked at me. She said, you were old and stupid. That you'd never fight back. That we get the money and disappear. The boat was supposed to be our start in Mexico. Eliza was shaking with rage. You coward. You absolute coward. Better a coward than facing federal fraud charges. Marcus leaned forward. Here are our terms. Full custody to Arthur. You pay back every penny. $43,000. You find it. Borrow it. Sell everything you own. Or we file criminal charges. Federal embezzlement. Interstate fraud. 10 years minimum. Eliza's lawyer whispered to her. Long conversation. Her face crumpled. I don't have that much, she finally said. Then you figure it out. You've got 72 hours. Julian was already heading for the door, his lawyer chasing after him. Eliza looked at me one last time. Arthur, please. You stole from our son. You made him afraid in his own home. You forged my name and planned to abandon him. I stood up. Get out of my house. You've got 3 days. She left, her lawyer trailing behind. When they were gone, Marcus put a hand on my shoulder. You did good, brother. I looked at the papers scattered across my table. 15 years of marriage reduced to evidence of fraud. Yeah, I said. Now, let's make sure she never hurts Leo again. 2 days after the meeting, a car pulled into my driveway. Beatrice Croft, Eliza's mother, 70 years old, elegant, steel-spined. I'd always respected her, even liked her. She'd raised Eliza alone after her husband left when Eliza was 12. I opened the door. Beatrice stood there with her purse clutched tight, face drawn. Arthur, may I come in? Of course. I stepped aside. We sat in the living room. She declined coffee. Sat with her back straight, hands folded. Eliza called me yesterday, she said quietly. Told me you're trying to destroy her. That you manufactured evidence. That you're using your money to take Leo from her. I waited. Didn't defend myself. Just waited. Then I called my accountant, asked him to look into something. She pulled papers from her purse. She borrowed $30,000 from my retirement account 6 months ago. Said it was for Leo's education. I believed her. It wasn't for Leo. No, it went to that man. That Julian person. Her hands trembled slightly. I spoke with Marcus this morning. He showed me everything. The forged signature. The psychological report on Leo. The offshore account. She looked at me. Eyes wet. I raised her better than this. I taught her integrity, honesty. What did I fail? You didn't fail, Beatrice. She made her own choices. I'm here to apologize. Her voice cracked. For what my daughter has done to you and Leo, and to tell you I'm testifying for you. Whatever you need from me, you have it. Beatrice, you don't have to. Yes, I do. That child is my grandson, and he needs protection. Even if it's from his own mother. She stood composed herself. I'm also calling her a loan. She has to pay back the $30,000. I'm not funding her destruction of this family. After she left, I sat there stunned. Even Eliza's own mother had turned against her. Marcus called an hour later. Did Beatrice come by? Yeah, she's testifying for us. There's more. Julian's gym is being foreclosed. Turns out he owes money to a dozen clients for training packages he never delivered. They're filing complaints. When he realizes he's facing fraud charges on multiple fronts, he'll flip on Eliza completely. How long? Days. Maybe hours? He's a coward, Arthur. He'll save himself first. That night, Eliza came to the house. Didn't knock, just used her key. I was in the kitchen with Leo helping with homework. We need to talk, she said. Her eyes were red, makeup smeared. Leo, go upstairs, buddy. But, Dad, my math. I'll help you finish in a minute. Go on. He went looking back once with worry in his eyes. Eliza sat at the table. My mother called. She's siding with you. I know. Julian's lawyer dropped him. Says he won't represent him anymore. I know that too. She looked at me. Really looked at me. How did this happen, Arthur? How do we get here? You forged my signature. Stole $50,000. Had an affair. Planned to abandon our son. I kept my voice level. You did this. I made mistakes. Mistakes. I leaned forward. You destroyed our family for a 36-year-old with a failing gym. You traumatized her son. Those aren't mistakes. Those are choices. She started crying. Real tears this time. I'll pay it back. All of it. Just please don't take Leo from me. You took yourself from Leo the moment you made him keep your secrets. I stood up. You've got 24 hours to accept our terms. After that, we file criminal charges. She left without another word. Upstairs, Leo was sitting on his bed, clutching his stuffed bear. Is Mommy leaving? He asked. Yeah, buddy. But you're staying with me. You're safe. He hugged me tight. Good. I feel safe with you, Dad. That's all I needed to hear. The next afternoon, I got a call from an unknown number. Woman's voice. Young, scared. Is this Arthur Pendleton? Yes. Who's this? My name is Chloe. I'm 23 and I'm pregnant with Julian Vance's baby. My hand tightened on the phone. Go on. I didn't know about your wife, about any of it. Julian told me he was single, that he loved me. Then yesterday his lawyer called me, said I might be subpoenaed. Her voice shook. I went to the gym to confront him. He admitted everything. Said your wife promised him money to start fresh. That they were planning to leave together. Did he say anything else? He showed me texts. Plans I made. He said if he's going down, she's going down with him. Mr. Pendleton, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. It's not your fault, Chloe, but I need you to do something. Will you testify to what Julian told you? Silence. Then yes, he used me. Used my feelings. I'll tell the truth. I called Marcus immediately. We've got another witness. Julian's pregnant girlfriend. She'll testify. That seals it. Eliza's done. That evening, Julian called me directly. We need to talk. He said, no cockiness now. Just fear. I'm listening. I'll testify against Eliza. Everything she planned, everything she did. I'll give you all the texts, emails, everything. But you need to tell the DA I'm cooperating. Why should I help you? Because I've got proof she planned to frame you. Make it look like you were abusive. She had recordings of arguments edited to make you sound threatening. She was going to use them to get full custody and then disappear with Leo. My blood went cold. She was going to take my son until I told her it was too risky. That's when we switched to the Mexico plan. He paused. Look, I'm a screw-up. I know that. But I'm not evil. That kid doesn't deserve what she's planning. Send me everything tonight. Already done. Check your email. I hung up and opened my laptop. There it was. Hundreds of messages, audio files, photos, a complete record of Eliza's plans to destroy me and take Leo. Marcus came over within the hour. We went through everything. This is bigger than we thought. He said she wasn't just stealing money. She was planning to destroy your reputation, take Leo, and disappear. If Julian hadn't gotten cold feet, I didn't want to think about it. The next morning, Eliza's lawyer called. My client accepts your terms. Full custody to you. Supervised visitation, repayment of all funds. She's borrowing from family to make the first payment and the psychological counseling. She's agreed to everything. After I hung up, I sat in my office at the plant looking out the production floor. 200 people down there, depending on this place for their livelihoods. I'd kept this plant running through recessions, supply chain nightmares, labor disputes. I'd never backed down from a challenge, and I wasn't backing down. Now, that afternoon, I picked Leo up from school. Ms. Davies, stop me. Mr. Pendleton, I want to tell you, Leo's been different this week. Happier, more engaged. Whatever you're doing, it's working. Thank you. That means everything. In the car, Leo was humming, playing with his action figure. Dad. Yeah, buddy. When Mommy comes to visit, will you be there? Every time. I promise. Good. He went back to his toy. I love you, Dad. I love you too, son. We drove home through the evening light, and for the first time in weeks, I felt like I could breathe. For months past, Leo thrived. His nightmares stopped. His drawings changed from dark houses to bright skies and smiling stick figures. Dr. Hayes said he was healing faster than expected. Eliza's supervised visits happened every other Saturday for hours at a community center with a social worker present. Leo went willingly, but always seemed relieved to come home. Marcus moved into my guest house. Said he was staying close to help, but I think he just wanted family nearby. We had dinner together most nights, him and me and Leo. Sometimes Beatrice joined us. She'd cut Eliza out of her life completely. Said she couldn't support what her daughter had done. At work, production numbers were up. The regional manager sent a commendation letter. People noticed I was different, lighter somehow. One of my shift supervisors said I smiled more. Julian's gym closed. He filed bankruptcy, moved back to his parents' place 2 states over. Last I heard, he was working construction, paying off debts. Chloe had her baby, a girl. She sent me a photo with a note. Thank you for telling the truth. Beatrice started a college fund for Leo with the $30,000 Eliza had repaid her. Said it was what the money should have been used for in the first place. One Saturday evening, Leo and I were shooting hoops in the driveway. Marcus came out with beers for us. Juice box for Leo. Dad, Uncle Marcus says you're a hero. Leo said, dribbling the ball. I'm not a hero, buddy. Just a dad doing what dads do. Protecting your family, Marcus added. That's what heroes do. Leo made a basket, threw his hands up. I want to be like you when I grow up, Dad. Strong and brave. I pulled him into a hug, felt his small arms around my waist. Yeah, I thought we're going to be okay. 7 months after everything ended, life had found its rhythm. Leo was 8 years old, excelling in school, laughing again. The weight he'd carried was gone. I stood on my porch one Saturday morning, coffee in hand, watching the sunrise. Marcus's truck was parked beside mine. He'd become a permanent fixture. The brother I'd lost and found again. A moving truck pulled up next door. The house had been empty for months. A woman got out. Late 30s helping a teenage girl unload boxes. I walked over. Morning. I'm Arthur. Welcome to the neighborhood. She smiled. Warm, genuine, Sarah. This is my daughter, Mia. We're starting fresh after a divorce. Good place for it. Need help. We spent the morning carrying furniture. Marcus joined in. Leo played with Mia's younger brother in the yard. By afternoon, Sarah had invited us for pizza once she got settled. That evening, Leo was building Legos at the kitchen table. Dad. Yeah, buddy. Are you happy? I thought about it. About everything we'd lost and everything we'd gained. About Marcus sleeping in the guest house. About Beatrice coming for dinner tomorrow. About the future stretching ahead. Uncertain, but full of possibility. Yes, son. I am. Me too. I looked out the window. Sarah was on her porch waving. I waved back. Leo went back to his Legos. Marcus came in from the garage, grabbed a beer from the fridge. You did good, Arthur. He said quietly. We did good. Couldn't have survived this without you. That's what family does. The sun set over the neighborhood, painting everything gold. My house, my son, my brother, my life. All of a hard one. All of it worth fighting for. I lost a wife, but kept my integrity. Lost a marriage, but found the truth. Lost my illusions, but gained something real. Leo laughed at something he built. The sound filled the kitchen, pure and unafraid. That sound was everything. That sound was why I fought. And standing there in my home with my family, I knew we were going to be more than okay. We were going to be great.